Oh, hi, Mark. Bowser decided that he wanted to co-star in this one. Isn't that right? You agreed to it. You signed the contract. Well, I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You signed a contract. You did. You're my co-star. Okay. So I thought that this might be a fun idea for for like a list video, uh, which is the trilogy of trilogies. This is going to be a 3-part series exploring trilogies of different kinds, all horror, of course. We don't do anything else on this channel. And we're going to start with older trilogies. We're going to start with classic trilogies, and with each video, we're going to explore 3 trilogies. And then you guys are just going to have to see where we go from there. So the first trilogy up, of course, we're starting in the beginning. The Evil Dead trilogy. Of course, these aren't in order of release. That's not what I meant by in the beginning. I just meant that these are like older trilogies than the newer trilogies. Okay. So the Evil Dead trilogy, of course, Sam Raimi's trilogy. Everyone knows the Evil Dead trilogy, so I don't think that I'm really going to introduce you to anything new with that. But these are probably, these 3 trilogies are probably the best of them. That's what I'm saying. All right. So the Evil Dead 1, we have probably one of, in my opinion, one of the scariest movies ever made. I have a title, or I have a title. Congratulations, douchebag. I have a video titled, The Evil Dead is maybe the scariest film ever made. I think that's the title. I recorded it semi-recently, but in any case, I do really think that it's just uncanny enough, man. It really is. It's like there's something about it that feels like the way I always describe it is it feels like a VHS tape was sucked through an interdimensional or extra dimensional, something dimensional wormhole, and it landed in your grandma's basement, a big old pile of dust, and you pulled it, you grabbed it, and you put it in the VCR, and you watch it, and then you get a gross little feeling on the inside, and you're like, that doesn't feel like something that I should have seen. That feels like something that probably no human should see, and that, in my opinion, is what the first Evil Dead movie feels like, and I love it for it. Bowser, come on, buddy. Stay up here. Yeah, you go stay up here. Otherwise, he'll cause havoc, won't you? You'll cause mayhem. You may even participate in shenanigandry. Is shenanigandry a word? I don't know. Anyway, so that's the first Evil Dead movie, my quick thoughts and opinions on it. Now we have The Evil Dead 2, which in my opinion might be the most perfect horror comedy ever made. I love horror comedies, I really do. And when I say the most perfect horror comedy ever made, I don't mean that it's the funniest. I don't mean that it's the scariest. I mean that Evil Dead 2 strikes this perfect balance. It's right smack dab in the middle of it, bud. It's the hot dog in the bun, which I think hot dogs are just fresh on the mind because I had hot dogs for dinner. I swear to God, there's no other reason. What was I saying? It's the hot dog right in the middle of the bun. And it's perfect. It's Bruce Campbell's zany physical performance mixed with Sam Raimi's crazy camera work, mixed with the things in this movie that really are like nightmare fuel. Like even within scenes, you have different things that evoke different emotions. Like the scene where everything starts laughing. The lamp laughing is like objectively funny. Like it's all hunched over, and he's like pumping. He's pumping with it, like oh, like he's amused by it. And then the deer head starts laughing, and you, as it turns, its whole neck cracks and it kind of like turns its head like that. That's really scary. And then like the cloudy eyes, that's a really creepy image. And then you have Ash's girlfriend ballet dancing and her head's twirling. That's creepy, and it could be funny if you look at it in certain ways. Like, this movie, in my opinion, is just such a master of both things that it really is just the perfect horror comedy. If you don't agree, fight me about it, dude. The Evil Dead 2 is beautiful. I adore it. It's not even necessarily my favorite horror comedy, but I think objectively Evil Dead 2 is the best horror comedy ever made. And then we have Army of Darkness, which is the climax of the Evil Dead trilogy. Which is more, it's a sequel to Evil Dead 2, not necessarily of The Evil Dead, because The Evil Dead Evil Dead 2 is essentially a remake of The Evil Dead, and of course Evil Dead 2 plays out completely differently. But Army of Darkness takes all the comedic elements from Evil Dead 2 and it ramps them up to 11. I think this movie came out in like 1993, and it is very funny. You get a lot of iconic Ash lines in here. Listen up, you medieval screwheads. This is my boomstick. He drops another groovy in this movie. I like it better in Evil Dead 2. Okay, I'm just saying the chainsaw arm is way groovier. It's way groovier than that stupid metal thing, and I'm mad that we got the metal arm instead of another chainsaw arm. But yeah, it's a very fun movie, and I don't know what else to say about it because the horror isn't really there. Army of Darkness has always been my least favorite of the Evil Dead trilogy. But that's kind of like saying, I'm so good with similes. Can you believe I had that? I had that right there. Right off the bat, I had that shit. Okay, I'm sorry. That's kind of like saying that, sure, you know what? We'll use Mario for an example. It's like saying that Super Mario Brothers 2 is my least favorite Mario game, you know? Or a better example, so I'm not so pretentious because I don't know much about the Mario games. It's like saying that Modern Warfare 3 is my least favorite Modern Warfare game. You know, it's still a really great game. It's just not as good as 2 and 1. So yeah, there's that. And then we have the next trilogy, which of course everyone is familiar with, literally everyone and their mother, which is Romero's original Dead trilogy. I love every one of these movies. Everyone. I just released a Day of the Dead review, so you can go watch me yoink that movie off if you really want to. I do a really mediocre job of it. But let me tell you what, Day of the Dead was satisfied with the yoinking. I'm probably gonna do that again. I'm probably gonna do that again. Anyway, Night of the Living Dead is the first, and I actually just, I had an interaction with a guy in the comment section who had said something to the effect of, Night of the Living Dead is arguably the best horror movie of the bunch. Dawn of the Dead is arguably the best zombie movie of the bunch. And then Day of the Dead is arguably the best movie of the bunch. And I agree. I've never really thought of it like that, which I can't believe that I never have, because I don't know, man. Look, that seems like a thought I would have. Okay, I'm not trying to cosplay as a smart person here. I totally am. It's a lie. It's all a lie. But I do agree with it. That's a very good observation, and I totally agree. Night of the Living Dead is the best horror movie of the bunch. It is actually pretty creepy at spots. I love the atmosphere in this movie between the cemetery and the little farmhouse. The atmosphere is killing it. Them finding the well, I guess it's Barbara more specifically. They're coming to get you, Barbara. That finds the dead body in the attic. That's creepy. That's actually rather graphic for 1968. And yeah, I think all around, Night of the Living Dead is just a really solid movie. It is pretty schlocky. I mean, there is, you know, there is definite horror schlock in there. The way Barbara behaves, she's very, like, well, she's stupid, is what she is. She's very dumb. I get that she's in shock, but I want to say that's no excuse. But, like, being in shock is a pretty valid excuse, to be honest with you. But Barbara's a better character in Tom Savini's Night of the Living Dead. We're not here to talk about that movie, though. I will say the acting is pretty wavy from pretty much everyone involved, except for, this is the man's name, Ben Jones, the lead actor in this movie, Ben Jones? I believe so. He's actually really good in the movie. I think everyone else is pretty bad, but that's okay, neither here nor there. Those are my quick thoughts on Night of the Living Dead. What about Dawn of the Dead? I think Dawn of the Dead is... it's a very fun movie with all of the like mall music. Bum 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 bum. That's a lot of fun with all the shots of the zombies shambling around and tripping over water fountains. It's just, yeah, that's a good time. It's a good time. You're making the zombies little like clowns. You're absolutely that works comedically, and then you have the fact that it is effectively a jab at consumerist America. Romero was calling us all zombies, and I appreciate it, and he's absolutely right. We are absolutely all consumerist drone zombies. And then, of course, you have our main characters, who I actually like pretty much all of the main characters in this movie. I would say the most forgettable is Galen Ross's character, which, by the way, Galen Ross, dude, what happened to her? Where was she in like every other movie? Because she was randomly just in Romero's Dawn of the Dead, one of the most revered zombie movies of all time, and then next thing I know, she pops up in Madman in 1981. What a freaking downgrade! You better call your agent. You better call your agent, because that is... listen, you can do better. I promise you can do better. Although your face in Madman does kind of bother me, though. I don't know what that is, but, like, here, it doesn't bug me at all. She's, like, normal looking, and then in Madman, it must just be the way they shoot her. It's weird, man. Her face, like, it bugs me. She looks like the Momo meme a little bit. I'm sure she's a lovely person. Take none of that to heart. Anyway, Ken Foray is great in this movie. I even like the guy that plays Flyboy, and I almost forgot about the blonde guy. How do I not remember his name? I like him a lot, though. His portrayal of, like, psychologically cracking is unusual. It's not your traditional, like, psychological break like you saw in Night of the Living Dead, where she was just, like, completely disassociative, totally trying to pretend like everything around her just isn't, it doesn't exist, it's not happening. Oh, Johnny has the car keys. If you want the car, you need to get the keys from Johnny. You have a car? Where's the car? You're not going to be able to start it. But she, the blonde guy in this, he slowly gets just less and less careful. And I think that's a really good way of showing it. It's not the exact same family of psychological break, but he has basically gone down the rabbit hole fully, and he's just... almost convinced himself that there's nothing to worry about. I think that that's great. I think that like the war between the Tom Savini's crew and our main crew is a great scene. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, all together, Dawn of the Dead is like one of the greatest zombie movies of all time, and Zack Snyder's remake is okay. And then, of course, we have Day of the Dead, which I've already discussed. I literally just filmed a review on this. I'm keeping it brief, okay? The gore's awesome. The characters are awesome. Rhodes screaming choke on him as they eat him alive is awesome. Bub is just a little guy. Okay. Okay, and the next trilogy and the last trilogy, the final installment of this trilogy of trilogies, if you will. Actually, it's the final. I don't know how that's going to work. You know what? Never mind. I'm going to break my brain trying to figure out what I meant by that. I'm not doing it. The final installment in this video is John Carpenter's Apocalypse Trilogy, which this is actually a style of trilogy that we're definitely going to explore more in the future trilogy videos. More so in the next one. But, which is the unofficial trilogy. It is essentially 3 movies that are unrelated in plot, but are intrinsically tied together in tone and themes. So the first film, and what's funny is I'm not as familiar with Carpenter's Apocalypse Trilogy right off the top of my head. That's a shame. I thought I knew all the films in the Apocalypse Trilogy, and I thought I could name them all right off the bat. I might have to pause this and look them up. Because it was The Thing, it was Prince of Darkness. Is it They Live? Is They Live in there? Hold on, guys. Okay, now that I've thoroughly made an ass out of myself, I'm back to do it again. I can't believe that I didn't remember the third movie in Carpenter's Apocalypse Trilogy, and I can't believe that because it's my favorite of the bunch, and we'll discuss that when I get there. What the hell, dude? Yeah, what the hell? Tell him. You look a little like Pennywise when you're just sitting there looking at me like an idiot. Come here. Come on. Come on. Yeah. He's got like, one of his eyes goes a little that way. And it looks kind of Pennywise-esque. Anyway, so Carpenter's Apocalypse Trilogy, we start in 1982 with The Thing, which, of course, if you haven't seen The Thing, do you exist? Because I'm pretty sure everyone's seen The Thing. The, of course, very loose remake of The Thing from Another World. That movie isn't fantastic, but The Thing is everything. The movie feels cold. Of course, it's based in Antarctica, but it does a great job through atmosphere and cinematography and just feeling freezing cold. As well as it feels very lonely, which adds to the sense of distrust that John Carpenter is building throughout this whole film. Absolutely masterfully. Why am I doing this with my hands? All the creature effects in this movie are amazing. The whole like dog, like the morphing dogs that all just like like beef patty together. It is troubling. It looks troubling. Speaking of troubling, the head spider scene is it's troubling. the fact that someone thought to do that, to make a head a spider, that's next level shit. That is absolute next level shit, and I love it. I love it. The chest opening up with the rib cage biting someone's arm off is so cool. That's such a cool visual. The the blood jumping at somebody when they're trying to test all the blood and they're touching it with the sear pen. I don't know what that is. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, the whole movie's great. It is said that we're not really supposed to have a definitive answer to who the Thing is in the end of the movie. I think I know who the Thing is. I think I know. It's been a minute since I've seen the Thing, but I would like to share my theory. This is a safe space. Don't judge me, or do. Honestly, judge me as much as you like. Okay, look. I think the Thing is Childs. I think it's Childs. And let me explain. Childs was off screen for a big portion. We don't really know what Childs was doing, but MacReady, we saw the whole thing. He was burning the place down, right? I guess maybe there's a cut. Is there a cut after he... Shit. No. Ooh, yeah, there we go. There's the checkmate. That's why it's Childs. MacReady is holding a flamethrower. If MacReady was the Thing, he would have killed Childs. Childs is the Thing, and he will not kill MacReady because he has the flamethrower, or he will not attempt to kill MacReady because I think that's the last of the biomass from the Thing, and so it doesn't want to risk it. Perfect. There we go. Yeah, kiss my ass. I just solved the age-old mystery. I'm really proud of that, and I know there are, like, many of you who just looked upon me as the biggest idiot alive, and they're like, yeah, dude, everyone knows that. Well, apparently not, dude, because John Carpenter himself has said, people ask me who the Thing was in the end of the Thing, and I just refuse to answer. So in your face, I accomplished something, and you can't tell me I didn't. Okay, I don't know why I keep looking at the paper, like that's going to give me answers. The next film is Prince of Darkness. This is the one that I'm least familiar with out of the Apocalypse trilogy. Prince of Darkness is not my favorite movie in the world. It's essentially like a very interesting, almost cosmic horror-esque, like H.P. Lovecraft-esque explanation of what the devil may be, and it kind of shows the devil as an element. And that's all I remember. It is interesting. It is an interesting concept. I do not remember being that entertained by the movie. I do not remember being particularly attached to any of the characters. All I remember is Alice Cooper stands outside looking creepy, and I think there are insects involved somehow. Oh, mirrors too, maybe. I think there's mirrors. That's the kind of riveting commentary you all come here for, I'm sure of it. So, then we get to my favorite movie of the trilogy, and this is going to be the last movie of the video, which is a shame we have to end here because I already talked about this recently, so I'll keep it fairly brief. But In the Mouth of Madness. John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness is my favorite John Carpenter film by a country mile. It's not even close. First of all, cosmic horror is a subgenre that I really dig. I love the existential dread of it all. I dig it so much that when I write, because I write horror stories, when I write horror stories, I have a very difficult time not intertwining some element of cosmic horror, even if the story isn't intended to be a cosmic horror story. There's usually some element of that, and I mean, very rarely I can do it without, but anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about In the Mouth of Madness. Again, it's a cosmic horror movie. I think a lot of people look at this as psychological horror. I don't agree. I think that's such a less interesting way of looking at In the Mouth of Madness. Just, oh yeah, John Trent's having a psychological break. Whoopee dang. how about Sutter Kane just created a new plane of reality because he has more believers than the Bible, and we're all living in one of his books, and a tear in reality is literally a tear in one of the pages, and there are these crazy old ones things that come out of the tear, that come out of from the void at John Trent, and he goes to see a movie in the end of the movie that is the movie that we just watched. What? That is so cool. And if you think otherwise, you're simply wrong or you're lying. In the Mouth of Madness, I love it. Best film in the trilogy, for sure, by far. Okay, thank you all for watching. Next time we will do, should I say? Sure. You know what? Next Sunday we're doing Italian trilogies. So we're actually going backwards in time is what we're doing, because I think not most, at least one of those trilogies is older than all three of these trilogies. But with all of that being said, thank you guys for sticking to the end of the video. I hope to catch you on the next one.